Hello. Hi, Denise, Fiona, Sue, Michelle, Steph. Hi. Kylie, Cheryl. Hello. Everyone's here bright and early. Got your parcel. Well done, Fiona. Thank you. Hi, Sue. Okay. Just wait for a few more to come on. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Lynn. You're all getting in with your comments early. I can see those entries dropping into the lolly jar there, or the lottery jar. So for those that are new tonight, first time here on Facebook or YouTube, hi Karen. You'll know about this because you were a lucky winner last week. So every time you leave a comment, you get an entry into the little lottery jar down there on the left-hand side of the screen. Hi Del. And at the end, we pick out a winner to get a little prize. Hi Chris. Hi Andrea. And I think the prize this week might be one of the blocks from the Owl and the Birdhouse stitchery panel, because I've stitched one and I might stitch a couple more, but I don't think I'm going to stitch them all. So I'm going to cut those apart, and some lucky winner will get one of those. Yes, after 3 years, I've changed the quilt in the background. Actually, I've just pinned it over top of the other one. That one's still here. So that is Bloomin' Marvelous that I tried to show you last week, but it was a little big to show you. It's a little big to see in there, and because it's a little distance behind me, it's a little out of focus. So we get that nice, depth, a little bit, blurred background sort of look there. I probably could have fixed that a bit, but anyway, we saw it last week. And it was in the newsletter this week, so we've actually released the full pattern set now. Hi, Karen. Hi, Andrea. So yes, Bloomin' Marvelous is available to order now in lots of different ways. So you can order it as a full pattern set. You can order the pre-cut laser papers. You can order the background fabric pack. You can order the bright fabric packs. You can order the sashing. You can do anything. You can download each pattern individually, or you can also frozen. Anyone else frozen? I don't think I'm frozen, Cheryl. I think it's okay. Mine seems to be going okay. You can also sign up in our online academy. So that's like our classroom where you can do classes online and also download and print your patterns. So you just sign up to the whole thing at once. However, the platform that is on has just, after a couple of years, completely relaunched a new version, and not everything has updated there so far. So most of it's there, but I've got heaps of tickets into them. Story of my life, IT issues, but this one, they did warn that they were doing a changeover to the new platform, which is supposed to be bigger and better. But it hasn't completely migrated over yet. So they might, I know, for example, the homepage, it has got none of the classes or branding on it. So that's a real pain. They're all still there, but yeah. Anyway, the link to the Bloomin' Marvelous was in the newsletter this week, and you can go direct to that and still sign up there. Hi, Gwen. Hi, Anne. Hi, Veronica. Hi, Marilyn. Lynn. Yeah, Cheryl, I think it might have just been you that was frozen. Maybe refresh. Everything seems okay here. I'm noticing my screen. I think I told you a couple of weeks ago that I knocked absolutely everything over. I think I've damaged my big monitor and I've got lots of nice blue flicky lines on it. But anyway, I can still read your comments. So yeah, have we all had a good week? Got lots of stitches in. I've been doing mega masses of gluing. Hi, Shelley, of my new retro floral quilt that I've been making. Oh, wow, Denise, they must have been old. Did you just search my name and it came up, or did it automatically come up? Wow, that would be old. So Denise is saying she found some videos on YouTube at a US quilt show, but that would have been a little while ago. So yeah, I had a big week, obviously, if you remember, big weekend. We had the Tune Up at 2 concert at the Hobart City Hall with the Australian Army Band. And being the 55th birthday of the Corps, they invited ex-members back to play with them. So a tad younger, yeah, I wish I was that young again. That weight, that colour hair, and that young with that much energy. Anyway, so I took up the challenge. I didn't know if I'd be able to do it after 26 years, nearly 26, probably more than 26 years actually, because Tess turns 26 in next week, and I stopped. So about 26. I stopped, a few weeks before she was born. Anyway, a long time. Hi Jenny. Thanks, Jenny. That quilt is called Bloom and Marvelous. So I had about 5 weeks to get some chops back and remember what music was and how to play. My biggest issue was the eyesight. Instead of 5 lines on a staff, I had 8. So it was a bit hard to see what was on a line, what was in a space. But anyway, I actually really enjoyed it. I got a real buzz. I was sitting next to an amazing trumpet section and of regulars that play all the time now. And there were about 14, I think, of us that came back. Having said that, most of those still play in a community band or something. But we had rehearsals on the Saturday and then a lovely dinner on the Saturday night and more rehearsals and then the concert on the Sunday. Kylie, they did video it, but I'm waiting for them to send me the links. I did see one friend that was at the concert. She posted one video, but I couldn't. It wasn't shareable, so to her friends only. So yes, I will share them. It was fun, Steph. It was really good. I actually got a real buzz out of it. The adrenaline boost and the. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. But anyway, the trumpet's been repacked up and back in the cupboard maybe for another 25 years. So we'll see how we go. So that was my weekend. Other than that, it's been back into a normal week. So lots of chatting. Let's get into it so we're not here all night. So and not a lot new has come in this week. We've been waiting on orders and I've had to chase them up because for some reason they've been there for weeks and they haven't been dispatched yet anyway, so I've chased that up. I haven't got a lot new to show you. Mr. Bentley doesn't actually really enjoy it that much, Steph, and he's the only one I've got to play to. So I've got no one else to play to. Maybe they'll need me. Maybe they'll need me for something else at some stage. As long as they give me a few weeks to get it out and get going again. But the trumpet did go to the Fix-It Man, to the spa, and have a full clean up and service and spa session. So my trumpet's looking beautiful. Hi Adrian, hi Mark, hi Liz. So yeah, it's a shame that it's gone back in the cupboard, but it's still my original trumpet that I saved up and bought when I was about 16. But it is a nice instrument. So in fact, everyone wanted to come and have a look at it. I'm quite impressed. Okay, so what have I got to show you? Just a couple of little things. So first of all, today, I've told you about our Snuggly Bug quilts before, and we've had a real run on them at the moment. These are our charity quilts that I organise. It's a program with the Royal Hobart Hospital here, and it started before my Molly worked there, but now she does work there, so she's my conduit now. And when a child is diagnosed with a terminal or long-term treatment disease, we get a request from the hospital, and I just know their age and their likes and their gender. And then I have a big group of volunteers. We put the word out and people put their hand up to contribute and make blocks. And then the lovely Hillary quilts almost all of them. Every now and then someone else steps in, but she does an amazing job quilting them all for me. Hi, Isabel. So anyway, 3 came in the mail today, and I'm going to have to sort of search for another grant or something soon because it's must be costing Hillary a lot of postage shipping them to me all the time. And we're nearly out of our polar fleece backing, so I need to do another big buy up on that. So people donate the blocks, but I've got to come up with the polar fleece and the finishing off, and then there's the postage costs. So had a couple of grants over the years, so I might try another one. See if I can soon. Tina loves the backdrop. Thank you, Tina. Well, I've changed it up after about 2 years. We've got something else to look at. Okay, so these little ones, these 3 came in today from Hillary, and I can't remember who they were for at this stage. I'll have to see. But this is one. So obviously, for a little girl who likes unicorns and fairies, and we've got lots of unicorns on here. In fact, just about all unicorns. There's obviously a lot of unicorn fabric out there. Rainbows and unicorns, so that'll be really sweet. Sort of see lots of the blocks there. And she's actually quilted it with a unicorn pattern. Can you see that? Can you see the unicorns in the quilting? So maybe if I switch over to overhead, let's go here. Can you see here? See, here's the little horn thing and the nose, and come down here sort of to the, oh no, here's the legs down here. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's unicorns and stars. So that perfect quilting design for that one. So that's a lovely little girl that's going to be wrapped with snuggles there. They're not finished because I now have to finish them off and finish the borders and fringe them and everything. But that'll be my weekend job perhaps. And then the next one, I've just laid it down here, is for a Harry Potter fan. I think this was a 15-year-old girl maybe, Harry Potter fan. So there's a lovely embroidered block. This one, Mischief Managed. People are so clever how they come up with finding fabric to what I ask for, or making it up with what they've got. Look at this one, Mischief Managed. And what else have we got here? Oh, Harry Potter. Someone found some Harry Potter fabric. And this one, maybe you can see it better on the back. She has quilted with, let me zoom out on this camera. A little bit. See if we can see this. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Amelia. Hi, Jenny. But this cool one, look, it's a Harry Potter one. It's got owl and letter and the broomstick and the slash and the witch's hat. I'm not a huge Harry Potter person, so I don't know. These have probably got proper names. But look at that. How cool is that, coming up with a Harry Potter quilting design on it? So that's the Harry Potter one. Let's go here. I'll show you up close like that. Okay. That's number 2. I just dropped all my rings. And then number 3, I think it's for a little baby. So it's got the most gorgeous, soft, velvety polar fleece on it. It's that really soft version. It's got Peppa Pig, pussycats, giraffes. It's a bit of a these ones were actually blocks that were left over from the quilt guild that made me some blocks. So we just made do on this one in pinks and greens and lemons, but that one will be lovely and soft and snuggly. So I just thought I'd show you those. There's actually 2 more. Hi, Caroline. Karen, yes, Hillary always does an amazing job. So So there's actually 2 more requests going out when I get around to it this week. I've had them for a couple of weeks, but we had 5 or 6 all in a row very quickly. Some of them, a couple of them were urgent, so we've had a bit of a run on them, and I don't like to overwork. Even though we have about 100 on our volunteer list, it seems to be only about the same 6 or 7 people that put their hand to make blocks each time, which is fine. If you're busy and you can't do it, there's no pressure, but I'm really grateful to the ones that always put their hand up. Yes, Veronica, what we do is I fringe those edges of the polar fleece, and the reason we use the polar fleece is because I don't have to then pay for and find batting for every quilt, and we also don't have to bind every quilt because the binding would take me hours to bind all of those at once. So I just fringe the edges of the polar fleece, and that then is quite tactile. So while they're going through treatment or they're sitting there for the day with a drip in their arm or something like that, then they've got the tactile side of the fringed polar fleece. And also, if they're in for quite some time, they wear really well just being thrown in the hospital wash when they, if they're in a situation where they do their washing for them. So they survive the washing. So lots of reasons we use the polar fleece and why we came up with that. And we've made hundreds over the years, and they wouldn't keep asking if they didn't make a difference. And I certainly know that they do. So that's that. Now, I've got you some new fabrics to show you. These are new in, and they're on the website. So I'm just going to add them in the stream. Put them in there. And these are... It wasn't meant to be that went in there. All right, it was meant to be that, yes. Okay, so we've got some lovely new flannels, and we did actually order a few more than that, but the rest are on back order, and I think that generally means we're not going to get them, which is disappointing because this has never actually happened to us before when we don't get our full order. So I'm just going to zoom in again so I can show you here without all the extra on there. Okay, so they're gorgeous soft flannels from Moda, and that colour is not looking great. Let me just see if I can play with the colour a bit and improve that. So So it's not showing that it's a blue at all, is it? But it actually is. The whole bolt is a blue colour. I'll just see what it does when I go to that. No. Anyway, I'm telling you, it's a lovely, soft baby blue type colour. And you'll have to believe me. I can show you on the front camera in a bit. Hi, Janie. Oh, you forgot. That's not like you. It looks like 3 tones of grey, but not. It's actually a really soft baby blue, and then a denim blue, and then sort of one in between. If I come up, even then you can't see the real colour. That's a shame. I don't know why that is. So that is one. And this one has got all the same blues, but like a little running stitch stripe. And then we have this lovely sandy tan sort of beachy colour. They're really lovely soft Moda flannels from Lakeside, from Perimeter Gatherings, who's the designer. And then there's a chevron. Again, that's that real denim blue with a soft blue in it. And then we have a houndstooth check. Same denim blue with the softer blue in it. And then for a bit of contrast, we have the darker denim blue stripe. And then that sandy, now that colour's a bit better, that sandy sort of chevron, last chevron there. Now, watch me do this and see if I make a big bang. Let's see if I can tip them all over so you can see them all at once. Let's see. Not really. Maybe if I zoom out a bit. There we go. And the colour looks better there too, doesn't it? You can see the blues now. So they're really lovely, very soft, and I think would make a nice summer, like, well, they're flannels, but you know the what's the, like a beachside sort of theme quilt. Like if you've got a beach house, how snuggly and warm would that be with all those sandy beach colours? Or a men's quilt, or a little baby boy's quilt, because they're nice and soft and really soft and flannelly. And I think they would be perfect to use. Now, some of the ones that didn't arrive, but hopefully still are, they're on back order, are the plains that match it, because I think they would make a great, just trying to get this to show, a great, it's a cinch quilt. Now you can't see that very well there, but it's a cinch. It's a cinch pattern. It just uses squares, so whatever size square you want. We use 10-inch or 9-inch squares, and then you just lay a stack, a bit like a stack and slash quilt. So you just layer them and pack it apart, and then you join them just with one sashing, and you can use as many colors as you like or just one color, and there's nothing to match, so it comes together really quickly, and it looks really nice. So if I had time, we've got probably about 8 of these samples at the shop. If I had time, I'd make a sample of every range that comes in just to show how quick and easy it is. And I did mean for one to come home to show you it, but it didn't make it home tonight, so that's all right. So yeah, I don't know why that's not showing you the full quilt, but anyway, it's not. So let's go back to, we'll hide that, and we'll come back here to me. Okay. So the next thing that I promised to show you was some more of the owl and hare. And this week I've prepped up the Dresdens, and by request from Steph, we'll go through the owl applique. So last week we did the bunny. First week we did the stitchery, and then we did the hexagons and placed them in a ring. Then last week we did the outer ring and we appliqued the bunny. And I had forgotten his tail. Well, actually I didn't realize because I didn't look up the pattern. I just found the pieces out of my pre-cut paper pack and didn't realize he had a tail. So I had to find his little tail, and I've added that in. So he's all finished. Let's go here so we can see those. And we'll just zoom him back in a bit. So here's the bunny with his little tail here, all finished off. And that block is finished. And there was our first block with the stitchery. Okay, that tail was a tiny little tail, Steph, wasn't it? But anyway, it was there. It was a tiny little piece of paper in the paper pack. I just had to take it all apart and find it. All right, so as promised, this week we're going to do the Dresden blocks, and here's one I prepared earlier. In fact, most of what I prepared earlier. So I found my papers from out of the pack, separated them, and found, how many were there, 12 or 16? 12 of them to make with a 12 Dresden block. I glued all my edges over, so we'll just go through the gluing. So again, start at the bottom, line of glue along the edge of the paper, fold till I fill that edge and push it down onto the glue. My glue's been sticking a little better this week. Don't know if it's a new refill or the weather's changed, what it is, but all right. So I'm all glued up there, ready to go. And I did all of them at once. And then I simply placed them right sides together, and I've whip stitched all the backs together. So I've stitched from there down to there. Now you'll notice at the bottom the paper finished about there, and I've left the seam allowance on the bottom of the paper, but I haven't glued that under because that's going to sit underneath the center hole. If we just have a look here at the magazine, where's the Dresden block? That's probably, there's a Dresden block there. So it just gets appliqued onto the background with a circle that covers the center. So all those little ends that go underneath don't need the edges glued over. They can just sit flat and they'll be covered up by that circle. Okay, so I've left my last one here to attach to show you that in case you didn't see the last time we did it. So I'm going to place my pieces right sides together and get them all nice and even. So the top two edges, the points are even at the end, and the top two edges are nicely together. And then I'm just going to run across from the piece before. It showed us blue on the front camera. Oh, good. Isabel, with the rings, which way is better to sew the inner circle first or the outer after? You mean when I did the outside? You mean when I did this ring here? Is that what you're meaning, Isabel? I think it probably is. I sewed the inside first, just in case I sort of pulled it in on the outside and then I had to pull in even more there. So I did sew the inside first, but I glued it all down with my Roxanne's basting glue. So it was all stuck there and ironed flat. It didn't move much, but I did sew the inner first, just in case it pulled in at all. Because if I'd done the outside and that had pulled in, then the inside would have been even more bunched up in here. You could do with a good press now, but it's been hanging around for the week. All right, that's what you were talking about. Yes, okay. All right, so now I've just jumped across where I finished my last one here. Okay, and I've just gone through the seam allowance and I've come out where I want to stitch there and run it across the top of my finger. Don't pull too tight because I've got that big jump stitch. Through the two folds again, through the loop, tie a knot, and I'm ready to start. I'm positioning it so that those even edges are sitting right along the top of my finger, and my thumbnail here is pinching it really tight so it's not going to flap around. And I just slide the needle across the top of my finger, catch the two folds of the fabric and pull. And the needle needs to be perpendicular to the seam. So I'm going straight across. I'm just sliding across my finger and catching the two folds. So I'm not going too deep. I'm not going into the paper, just where the fabric has folded around the edge of the paper. And just move it along your finger as you get there so that you're pinching it nice and tight and it's not flapping around anywhere. It's staying exactly where you want it so that needle pierces the two folds exactly where you want it. And as I pull through, I'm giving it a real tug under my finger here so that I've got really tight stitches. That's why we're using the fine, strong blending thread. So I'm using a Wonderfil 80 weight Deco Bob, which is a polyester thread in a silver color. So it just blends with everything. You won't see it, but it's also really strong, so I can pull hard. And the little bit of thread through those folds is just going to sink into the weave of that fabric, and you're not going to see it on the front. So as I'm coming up to the end, if my points aren't perfectly matching, I'm just going to ease it in. The paper's really flexible. It's not like a stiff card. So I can just ease it if I needed to make sure my points are going to be exactly matching. Same as when we did the hexes together. This is a little more forgiving because we actually match the end points when we put it together, because only one end has to match. This one's going to be hidden. So if your gluing wasn't entirely accurate, there's plenty of steps that you can just adjust to get it perfect. So my last stitch is going through the last 2 points, through the 2 points again, through the loop, tie a knot. Now the next one to sew is going to be joining up our ring. See how it's open there? So I need to sew those ones together. So I'm going to flip it right sides together, and because I've knotted here, I'm on this side and I've knotted, I'm actually going to slip it through the fabric seam allowance and jump straight across here to the other side. So I've got a big long jump stitch there, so but to keep it loose and you'll be fine. Saves me having to knot and finish. And then I'm just going to take it up to my corner point through the seam allowance, right through the 2 points, through the 2 points again. So the first time I didn't pull tight because I've got that big long jump stitch and I don't want to gather that up, but the second time I'm going to pull tight and make a knot. Jenny, does the 80-weight thread ever slip through the needle eye while sewing? Yes, it can. It can do that, but you just get in the habit of when you pull through, you hold it at the eye. See how I'm holding it at the eye when I pull the needle through? So I'm actually stopping it slip through. So you just get in the habit of holding it there, so you're not letting it slip out. Sometimes, of course, it does do it. Now, there's some people that will double thread a needle, and some people will tie a knot around the eye of the needle. The knot definitely helps, but it's really hard when you finish then to cut that knot on the metal of the eye, because you somehow need to get the knot out. Double threading works as well, so it's a bit tricky to do it, but if you're using like our applique needles with a long eye, that is possible. So what I mean by double threading is that you thread it and then you come back and you put it through the eye in the same direction a second time, so it's going through twice, and that just gives it a bit more resistance to stop it. But if you can just learn and get in the habit without even thinking about it of holding a needle over the eye when you pull it through, then you'll stop unthreading it. Okay, that's just a habit to get into without even thinking about it, just where you hold your needle. So now I've double knotted at the beginning of this edge and I'm going to stitch back this way. Now, if you prefer to go right to left, you can just turn it around and go the other way, but I can go either direction. So I'm now just going to come straight back the other way. So I don't double thread. No, I don't double thread, Jenny. It's too fiddly. Oh, sorry, that was Jeanette. You joined late. I don't know. It's just a single thread with a knot in one end and a tail on the other. If you're talking about double threading the needle, that was a different thing again. That's like taking the thread through the eye of the needle, bringing it back around and taking it through it again, just so it doesn't come unthreaded quite so easily. But I really don't do that either because it's quite fiddly. It takes a lot longer than just doing it. I've just gotten used to holding my needle at the eye, so I'm stopping it from unthreading as I pull it through. So you see, so I've come through, not at the eye, and then I automatically grab there with 2 fingers. So I'm pulling it at the tip, so not at the eye, and when I grab with 2 fingers, I grab at the eye and I'm holding the thread through the eye. It's just a method and a habit that if you teach yourself to get into it, then you'll have a lot less. I still do unthread it sometimes. It happens sometimes, particularly when you're getting really short on thread and you're just trying to get to the end of the row and you've just been just a little bit too stingy and gone too far. Then it's a real pain. Okay, I've got to the end and I've gone through the loop and tied a knot. Then I'm going to trim that off. And there's my little Dresden. If I had an iron and gave it a good press, that would sit lovely and flat. There it is there. So now, next we have to put the circle over the middle. Now I'm not sure that I actually grabbed the right size circle out of the applique pack for this one because I didn't actually look up the pattern to see what size it should be, but it doesn't matter. It will certainly be big enough. It might have just been a 1 inch and I've got a 1.5 inch. Either way, they're definitely in your pack. So let's go through gluing a circle. Get my applique mat so you might be able to see it a bit better. Okay, it's a nice big circle, so I'm just going to do it with my thumb. But remember, if it's fiddly, then you can get your tools out and do it with that. So around the edge of the paper, and I'll just do about half, fold till you feel the edge, and because it's a circle, I'm using my thumbnail, and I'm just doing a little pinch and gather as I go around, let it feed around the circle. So it's just feeding around the paper template. I'm not folding the paper in. I'm just letting the fabric feed around as I pinch and gather into that glue. And there's my circle done. Look how quick that was. See? I know, I've done several thousand of them, but it was very quick. Hi, Denise. I hope. Hi, Rhonda. I hope you've been having a good time. This is Rhonda from Renmark, not Rhonda who's currently sunning the seas in Hawaii or somewhere overseas. All right. Hi, Rhonda. Haven't seen you for a little while. So then that one goes in there in the middle. So we just get a few little dots of Roxanne's and place him in the middle. And then I'm just going to turn my iron on. And that gets hot. I would iron that to set that glue nice and strong. I know, Jane. I've probably done thousands of circles. Practice makes perfect, remember? I actually have a whole quilt just say as my practice makes perfect quilt, or my quilt when I've got nothing else to do. I actually just did lose that a bit. So then I would just take my same applique needle, same fine blending thread, and applique that into place. Now you could put this onto your background and applique it all at once it's on your background, or if you wanted to do it by machine, you can put it on your background and do it with your monopoly on the machine. And because I don't have my camera set up to show you the machine, there's lots of YouTube videos you can watch on that. Do we have a basic? Yes, we do, Veronica. It's in a bobbin tube. I've got one here. Yes, here, like this. So we have a set of 12 different basic blending colours in the bobbin tube as a starter pack. Yes, we do. All right, so I've just come unglued a bit there, so I can just pull that in with my needle. So now I'm just going to applique that in. So straight up, catch the fold, straight back down again, move along through the, oops. Okay. The problem with this reel of thread, and I really should get a new one, is that it has been chewed and there are some worn spots which just shred. Naughty Bentley. Okay, coming up from the background through the edge fold of the fabric, straight back down, move along, come up, catch the fold, straight back down, move along. And I'm just applicating that down. Again, you could do this once it was on your background, and you can do it by machine, or you can do it by hand. What were you asking, Journey? Were the monopoly in the top or the bottom? I actually use it in both. So I use it in the top and in the bobbin. And if you check out my YouTube videos, there's heaps there on how to do it by machine. Okay, so I won't go through an applique of that. You don't need to see me. It's like watching paint dry. But you got the idea, and we've been through the applique stitch a few weeks ago on the live. So what am I missing there? Let me just see. I think Donna's... where do we see? I can't see Jenny's. Oh, yes, the thread does get caught on the corners. It is frustrating. I can't see what obviously somewhere Janie asked about the monopoly. So yes, I use it at the top and in the bobbin. All right, so that's it for the Dresden block. That just gets Roxanne basted onto the background, stitched onto your background block, and then looks like in the pattern it has just a running stitch circle around it. So what I would do for that is I would glue base this onto the background, and then I'm going to get the same ring that we used. I think it was 7.5 or 7, whatever you like, for the last block. So this is from our nested circle rulers. I'm going to use the lines on it to make sure I've got it even. So I can have a line with this point, a line with that point there and there. And that means I've got it centered. And then I would just take my Ceylon ceramic pencil or a blue pen and draw my circle around there that I can then do my running stitch. Maybe I'll do it here. I'm just going to straighten that up. I probably should just glue it all down now, because then I can stitch it down afterwards tonight. So while I'm on a roll, I like to just go and finish off what I've shown you tonight. Otherwise it will just go in a pile and it will never get done. So I'm going to applique Roxanne's glue it into place. Just going to set that. Then I'm going to get my ring and I'm going to line up my marks on there so I know I've got it completely centered. And I'm going to draw my stitch line. There you go. And I'm ready to do my running stitch line once I've appliqued it down. I think I would probably put some stitchery stabilizer on the back before I do that running stitch. You could get away with it because I'm on a linen, but if you're on a finer cotton fabric, I would definitely put stitchery stabilizer on the back. But I just can't bear to do any sort of embroidery without a hoop and without stitchery stabilizer. So I probably will stabilize that before I stitch it. As you can see, I have on that one. So that's got the Hugs and Kisses stitchery stabilizer on it, on there, which keeps everything nice and flat and not puckered, sitting nice and flat. Whereas you can see on this one without the stabilizer, it'll press out with some good steam, but it is just a little bit sort of distorted from when I did my applique stitch. All right, so that's the Dresden one done. Andrea, I'll use the Hugs and Kisses stitchery stabilizer. Have I got any here? Let me see. It's a non-woven, fusible, lightweight stabilizer. No, I don't have the packet here with me. I must have actually put it away. Shock horror. But if you could see it on this one, it's a really nice, fine, non-woven, really light. Keeps it really stable, but it's not thick to stitch through. And you put it on with the steam line and it goes on beautifully and doesn't bubble or come off. All right, now as promised, let's get on to the what pencil did I use for the line? I just used a blue washout pen because that was what was here. The circles, Janie, yeah, honestly, you will use them so much, particularly if you work in circles. I work a lot in circles and I just use them all the time. So I think they're a good investment. All right, now we've got our owl block. Let's get onto this in case I run out of power in my battery, but I should be all right. I'm all right in the overhead. So I found all the papers in the laser cut pack and I've fused them onto the background and I've cut them out. Okay, now we're going to start with the owl body because he's obviously going to be the trickiest. And just remember that here, the wings are going to go. So we don't need to stress about getting these glued over. But we do need to get into these little points here. And there's sort of an inner point. So I'm doing a full snip to the paper there. And I'm just going to do a little half snip here so that we can get around. We need to get just on this bit here and then the wing covers the rest. We need to get into here, but it's an inner curve, not an inner point. So I'm not snipping all the way to the paper. And then we'll just let me get around there. Okay. Now, I might do this with the tools just so you can see. So I'm going to start maybe along here and see if you can see. So we're going to start by coming over onto this. And then in, let's pull this little snip here all the way over onto the glue to hope. Then I'm actually going to change to my point here so I can pull just a little bit at a time around this little tiny, I suppose it's an ear. It's not really an ear. Do owls have ears up there? I'm not sure that they do. Oh, it's so much better with my thumb. Hold on. And the glue's just not sticking very well. I'm going to pinch and gather and get him around that corner. All right, that's better. And I've got a nice easy curve here, so I'll just do that. Now I need to get around this little tiny little bit here, but I'm not too stressed because the wing's going to cover the top part. Okay. So I've got around there. Now I want this nice flat bottom, so that's just going to fold up. And I might do this flat bottom there at the same time. And then I need to get around these little inner curves. So again, let's try it with our tools. Bring that over. Okay, it's not letting me. I need to snip a bit further in. I'm going to have to go all the way into the paper, I think, because it's just not easing in there. So we're going to bring it over onto the glue. And then we go around this bit. So it's one of the more fiddly ones, but it's doable. Again, I would have just done it with my thumb, but I'm trying to show you so that you can see it a bit more. My thumbnail. So I'd be quicker with my thumb. Right, I'm not worried about that bit because it's going to be covered by the wing. Come up here. This is actually more of a point here. Maybe I'll, on this side, maybe I'll do more of a point. So I'll just fold that in. Just trying to make sure I stay on camera and don't move out of sight. Okay, so I'm happy with his body like that. I'm not worried about the wing there because it's going to have, not worried about that bit because it's going to have the wing over it. All right, let's do these wings. So pinch and gather around the curve. And this one. I'm trying to do this quickly because I know we're going quite long now. And then we've got the little eyes. You can do it, Denise. You can do it. Look, I'm showing you it's doable. Just normally I wouldn't be trying to do it in a rush on camera. But see, this little eye is just a pinch and gather around that circle. Or if that's too hard, use the tool. Okay, there's one eye done. Now there's his belly. I've lost his belly. He hasn't made it in, I don't think. I did prepare it. Let me just look and see if I can find it. Okay. So let's pop on. So how do these wings go? They go like that, I think. Yep. So one goes like that. And if you'd left these out, it would have given you something to applique, to glue this onto actually. And I think that one goes like that. And then our eyes. And then we would embroider the little other part of the eye on there and the little triangle nose. Just let me see if I can locate the missing belly. It might be on the back. Here it is, on a piece of fabric somewhere that I missed. Hello to Mum if you're watching. I wonder if you've remembered tonight. Managed to find it. She's got all used to lining up now on a Thursday night. Just have to teach her how to comment and get a entry in the lolly jar. Okay, now see I've left the seam allowance of that one down the bottom. I haven't glued it under. What I want to do is, and I would have left a bit more except that I put it too close to the edge, I'm actually going to glue that around so that it's underneath his body. And then you see how now it's tucked underneath there? And there's our little owl done. So now I just need to glue that onto my background and applique all those pieces down. And I'm not sure, what does he have, a ring around him, or I'm not sure what he has. Let me see. The owl has, yeah, one of the owl has one of those rings around it. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe there's a better one, closer picture somewhere. Anyway, it has one of these rings around it. So I'd have to do another one of those, which I haven't got prepped. But anyway, I will glue him onto the background and applique him down tonight and show you that one next week. And let me see, where's my, that's all that. Come back here. So, okay, yes, he has a ring I missed a few things here. He has a ring like Mr. Bunny. Yes, someone's going to watch replay. Don't think so. Just cross them off my list. You can do it, Denise. You can. The owl is cute if you can manage it and have a play. Send them to Helen. Yeah, you can always do that. No, you can't. Hundreds of you can't send them to me. Yeah, I'm much better with my fingers as well. Much quicker with my fingers, and I always know where they are. So unless I've broken my thumbnail, I'm useless if I've broken my thumbnail and you don't have that nail. Or sometimes when I'm just doing hours and hours of gluing, particularly if it's not sticking very well, if it's the fabric or the sizing or whatever that affects it, then my thumb gets really sore. So I do have to switch to tools sometimes. Good morning from the US. Hello, Cynthia. Yeah, so I have found that at the moment I'm doing this massive quilt I think I showed you with all Kona fabrics, and really interestingly, like the yellow was really bad. It just would not stick, and then yet a green last night stuck really easily. So I don't know if it's the type of dye or if it's like the dye for each color, or if some's got more sizing in it or something. I really don't know what's affecting it. Some making it better than others. But yeah, flowers in the teacup, Elizabeth. I've got next week to do the little coffins, and there's something else. The coffins and the circle blocks, or with all the little circles. But I did show you a circle tonight. Hi, Leanne. Yes, a bit late. Catch up on replay, but you've still got a bubble in the jar in the drawer, so maybe you will still win a prize. Oh, happy birthday to Jade, Joe. Yes. What's the yes, Steph, for the flowers and the teacup? I did get them all out when I was trying to sort through and find the bunny towel, and I thought, am I really going to do all these blocks? I probably might as well do. I think there's a house, teapot, and a watering can still to go, I think. So we'll see. It gives me something to do on a Thursday night anyway. Hopefully it's helping someone. Even if you're not doing owl and hare, you might be picking up tips and tricks for your own applique. So we've been nearly an hour. Very importantly, Anne, because you might win a prize. Fiona, no, you need something to do at night on night shift, so you need to do your own. Thanks, Isabel. That is the Bloom and Marvelous quilt behind me there. All right, so I think we've been an hour, and I've got some more gluing to do, and these blocks to finish off tonight. So I'll post it on our Instagram stories when it's done. So if you keep an idea there, then keep a watch there. You'll see when I get it done tonight. No, the paper is our special Hugs and Kisses applique paper, Cynthia. So it's an iron-on water-soluble paper. So you leave it in. So the template stays in there. Same for all the EPP. You iron it on, glue your edges over, stitch it down, and then when you wash it, it semi-dissolves and just stays in there as little soft fibres. So it's called Hugs and Kisses applique paper. Or I just put the link in for Owl and Hare. We've actually got laser cut packs of all those papers where it's all cut for you. Every shape you need to do the Owl and Hare block, all the EPP and all the appliques all in there. Thanks for coming back again this Thursday. Thank you. I haven't sort of been looking how many of you are here, or 63 at the moment, so that's nice. You've stuck with me to the end, so hopefully that means you're learning things. And we will get on to the next bit next week. And it's nice to know that you're all sitting there saying hello on a Thursday night. I've had a good run of not having to miss any for a little while, so that's good. We will see you next week. I think Joe forgot. Joe hasn't been here, so she's had a well-deserved night off, but that's fine. Donna popped in, and we'll see you next week. Oh no, I have to draw the winner, don't I? Okay, let's go to get a winner, and I'm going to click the button. And it does. Let's just hide that. It can't be get a, hang on, get a winner. Del Carmody is our winner. So Del, if you send Joe a message tomorrow with your address, I know I've got it somewhere, or if there's anything else you wanted to order like Karen did last week, you can do that first and she'll send it with it, and we will send you your little gift for watching tonight. You were an early adopter. You might not still be here. Are you still here, Del? Because you were on very early. You might have given up and left. But if you're not going to see this message. If we don't hear from you, we'll try and chase you up. But yeah, Del, you are the winner. Okay, thanks everyone for joining in. Time to go and get the heater on and get warm. And not sure what I'm watching tonight. You might need to be starting something new. Have a great quilty week. Yes, I know I needed to check with you. Joe did tell me to remind you 2 things. Stitch's Garden is going out next week. Not too late to sign up if you want to get this one. If you want to join up to get the next year's worth, but you can sign up for this one. It's all done. Donna's and all the girls have got all the kits and packs ready to go. So that invoice has started going out today. But if you're on automatic payment, that will charge on the 15th. And the Simply Charmed also goes out on the 15th, but I have to quilt it on Saturday, so I'll be quilting on Saturday to quilt and finish that. So again, you can join up to Simply Charmed as well. All right, so sorry, thanks Donna for that reminder. Stitch's Garden going out on the 15th. Invoices coming now, or your automatic charge will happen on the 15th. If you don't see it by several days after that, and there could be something wrong with your credit card, then just reach out so that you don't miss out. All right, that's it for me for tonight. Night, Mum, if you're watching, and get ready for the big footy match tomorrow night. Okay. All right, we'll see you next week. Bye for now.